There we go. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Okay, anyway. Hello, welcome to stream. You won't be able to see my screen or anything like that. But you will be here to join me for just typing stuff. So yeah. Excuse me, I'm just putting music. I'm looking at my own stream. At my own stream just via my phone. Oh. So yeah. But before I start typing anything or like doing anything, I'm gonna disconnect actually from this because I'm like slowly getting tired. Like I might end stream like as soon as possible just because I am extremely tired. And I have no like reason to like do this. I just wanted to do something. But yeah. Okay, we're gonna start typing. Okay, let's go. Now, chapter 1 is already out for the Aether on Ao3, which honestly took me like probably this whole month to write, or at least like a long time. I don't think it says when I started it. And I wish it did, but I haven't. But I have here already like quite a bit of chapter 2, so we have that going for us. Also, I did this with eyeliner. I just mess around and draw on my body a lot. Like, I would not be willing to actually get a tattoo because I don't like pain, but I would probably get henna if I'm allowed to. It's really greasy. Anyways, actually, let me Okay. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just super tired. I'm so out of it right now. Anyways, let's actually get to writing the chapter. I also feel like I want to read the first chapter just in case. But all I have is like wait a minute. I need to actually like I have 287 words. So not a lot, but it's something. So yeah, mm. Okay. We're gonna actually start writing. I'm gonna put some music and you can just vibe with me. I won't be able to see when it comes in, but okay. Okay, let me just actually see where I left off. Okay. Besides the quick encounter with the local folk, he finally found himself at their home where he saw Wisteria fixing up the garden that stood in front of the home. There he also saw Essie relaxing on the porch that was decorated with lanterns, illuminating the dark areas of the abode. He noticed and waved to him. He waved back as he was coming closer to her. Keep that clear. Mm. Mm. Okay. Actually, okay. We're gonna be reading the first chapter because I worked real hard on it and I really want to read it. I'm gonna read it. Okay. Let me just put the playlist. Okay. The Aether AU by JVL the Cookie. Yours truly. The notes say, "Excuse me if it looks rushed or anything of that sort. I just really wanted to get this idea off the ground ever since I joined the fandom. I hope you like it and have a wonderful read. Also, there is a Spotify playlist for the AU. You just have to search the Aether AU on it. So there you go, if you want to look for it. I'm gonna have to probably add my Spotify on my YouTube banner right now. If you're on the computer, you go to my YouTube channel, it's on the banner, my small links on there. So if you want to check it out, yeah. I'll see if I can put the Spotify playlist on there somewhere. Anyways, chapter 1 is named after the song Dear Fellow Traveler, because it feels the most accurate out of the 3 first songs, I think, or a couple songs. So let us begin. It was an average day for Tommy, causing mischief and generally avoiding Dream in the meantime. Like the rest of his days, he had been out of it for a while, noticing he was sort of lost in a sense with no direction towards anything, which was weird since he never seemed lost, totally. By the end of the day, he had settled in for the night in his humble abode in his dirt bungalow. He lay in silence on his bed as he contemplated his life, wondering if any of this came into fruition. The events of the SMP had weighed on him before, but he had never questioned why Dream loathed him or even where he came from. Sure, he was raised by Wilbur and Techno by Phil, and he was somewhat grateful for it, but he never really felt like he was truly part of his family, nor mattered how much he used to get along with Wilby or Techie, hell, even his father. He was alone in a broken world that had messed him up from the start, wishing for where he belonged, and with that, he went to sleep with that question in mind. Until he woke up in the middle of a forest. Tommy felt the warmth of the sun on him as he slowly woke up to an unfamiliar place. Clearly, not on his bed. Same. What the fuck? sorry. I'm like, he swears, but I don't swear as much, so I'm like, ugh. What the fuck, he groggily said, standing up as he took in his surroundings. I'm gonna make so many weird noises as I read this. As he was coming to his senses, he looked around and only to see the flora and fauna and no Wimpy. He tried to see if anything familiar appeared, but he unfortunately came up with nothing, still lost as he woke up. Then he began whispering to himself. Okay, Tom, how the fuck did you get here? And why are you not home? He cringed while saying, ever since he came up with last night's epiphany. Let's not do that again, he continued. I can never catch a break, can I? Somehow I keep finding myself in situations that I never would have ever thought, but here we are, he said as he sighed in frustration. He decided to finally get up and walk around for a bit, trying to calm his nerves down. He paced back and forwards in circles and eventually just kept continuing walking in whatever direction, hoping he would stumble back home. He did in time come across a river, where he heard two voices very much unknown to him. He quickly hid in the bushes nearby to eavesdrop on what they were saying. Oh, come on! Last time, Kopakai. I don't know how to say that, but it's in Greek. It means crow. In Greek. Said I could fish alone this time. One said in exasperation? I don't even know what I wrote there, but it's there. As the other did with, last time we went alone to catch lunch for us. The fish were full of holes. The first voice sputtered for a bit into respect. Hey, at least I don't know about you, but stabbing it with a spear seems way more efficient than just trying to grab it with the chance of missing. Clearly, I have the upper hand. Quiet. No, said the second voice, hesitantly said. Making Tommy laugh a bit too loud. This did not go unnoticed, as the arguing banter had stopped into silence, only hearing the echo of the water rushing and the fish splashing against the watery surface. One of the voices decided to speak up. Who goes there? They shouted from across the river, knowing someone was there. That being him, Tommy, who didn't know what to do or what to say for the matter, so he just stayed silent. Come out, one of them said. You don't want to know how fiercely I can attack, even if I currently only have a spear. Stop threatening them. Maybe they're just slow to respond, or maybe there was no one there, the other one butted in. He heard a very quick huff, preceded by the noise of rocks crunching away as he assumed the frustrated one was walking away. The others soon followed. This is why we don't get anything done, Esty. You become quick to anger. I am not Wisteria. I'm just passionate about receiving answers, that is all. Soon Tommy could hear their voices fading away from the farther they walked. Thinking he was safe, he was getting up from his hiding bush until he heard a whoosh go by him, his iconic tee getting torn by the neckline hem as the spear had just passed him. There he stood frozen to what had just happened. He now could finally see the former voices physically. The one who had just thrown the spear at him had short turquoise hair, round glasses, and had a very similar get-up to how Techno dressed. Its similarity only becoming closer as he saw their bright yet dark red eyes. The other also wore glasses, only square, and had a more relaxed outfit, a pirate shirt, and a very stylish skirt. He assumed this person was Wisteria, as her hair had also was turquoise, but transitioning into the wisteria flower color by the time it reached to the braid. As he stared in silence, the one he had assumed to be Essie started waving to him slowly, becoming concerned about his silence. Hey, you good? They yelled. I'm sort of sorry about throwing that spear at you, but I didn't mean to scare you. Sure you are. Honest. Not too soon after, he started to shout to the duo. Oh, you could have hit me, you fucking, what's your problem? Hey, it was your fault for not saying anything in the first place, guys. And if you didn't scare me, you bit. I ain't scared of anything. I'm a man. Well, sure doesn't seem so, you teen. Guys, who are you calling teen? Just so you know, I am 18. You do not look older than one. That still makes you a teen, and I look perfectly normal for my age. Guys! Finally shouted the one named Wisteria, getting his and Essie's attention. She looked distressed, as she was trying to get their recognition. She took a deep breath and spoke. I know this whole affair seems unfair, and that you may still want to argue, but we need to make some lunch. I'm hungry, and I need to go back to the archives soon. And Essie stayed silent as Wisteria was going off about their definitely mature argument until she stopped herself midway through and just proceeded to walk away. No more words to be said. Essie followed in her footsteps, apologizing behind her as they seemed truly sorry about their outburst. Tommy had just stood there, thinking, I don't want to go with them, but I still have no idea where I am. I probably should apologize too. He quickly crossed the river from the rock pit that seemed to come up out of nowhere, and tried his best to catch up to the duo. He soon was able to catch up to them, only to find his sudden presence, albeit one sight, invited. Excuse me, I'm sorry about earlier, but I need your guys' help. Wisteria responded with a calm tone on that someone would think would have been there all along. Oh, don't worry. You were just in the heat of the moment, as well as my sibling over here, she said playfully, jabbing him to the side of the other, who was still mad but looked more composed. Hush, they responded. Besides that debacle, what do you need help with? I can do my best to help you. If it's something that doesn't require strength, that's Essie's thing. No, it's not anything that requires much. I just need to know where I am. If I can follow you guys to wherever you're going. Wisteria pondered for a while, responding with an eased tone. I don't see why not. Plus, you could join us for lunch. Oh, jeez, Essie groaned as he saw them raise their hands to their face, crouching to the floor. Hey, don't be such a downer. We finally get to have someone over after such a long time. Come on, it will be fun. More distressed noises came from Esty before rising, and as they reluctantly agreed for him to come along. As Tommy tagged along with the siblings, he explained that he had no idea how he came here, saying that he did not recognize anything besides the wilderness. Both Wisteria and Essie were surprised, saying that it's really hard to even get here. This confused him even more, but he decided to keep quiet until they had their lunch. Soon, they reached their destination, a small cottage with a very neatly designed flower patio where he saw a single tree with carvings engraved. He assumed that they were the ones who did the work, but decided to ask later. As they entered the little home, Wisteria quickly entered the kitchen, probably to work on the prepping of the food, leaving him to their devices. An awkward silence consumed the whole room. Only the sound of fire being set up and cut could be heard. Essie broke the quietness, sitting down in front of what seemed to be a fireplace, decorated with memorabilia. Sorry about earlier, Tommy, apologized Essie. I was caught off guard and wasn't expecting anyone to be there. It took him by surprise, probably because no one's really ever apologized or even cared to say sorry to him. To say he was just shocked would be just an understatement. He started to tear up a bit. Well, mate, you good? Do you need a tissue or something? I can grab one for you. No, I'm alright, he interjected. He sniffed a couple times before responding. It's just, back at home, rarely I would get any form of apology. That is considering me being a troublemaker, but all I wanted was to have fun and freedom to be happy. Now I'm just traumatized. A silence came back, deafening as it could be from the truth that was just said. Mate, are you okay? Essie asked weirdly asked. I mean, you don't have to tell me everything right now if you don't want to, but man, you seem to have it rough, buddy. I guess I do, but that's in the past now. Now the mission's to survive. Well, stay here for today. We'll gladly let you be here until we can manage to find a way back to your home, Essie comforted. Thank you, he quietly said. And with that, they both sat in silence, enjoying this comforting atmosphere. Soon Wisteria called called out for them for lunch. The food consisted of caught fish, basked in the rosemary herbs, with asparagus on the side. And along with the main course, there was, strangely enough, potato wedges. Everyone was ate comfortably as he avoided the asparagus part while eating plenty of potatoes. This enlightened Wisteria, she was left along with Essie on his pickiness, but had no issue with it. Her laughter was short of breath, but rumbling the room at the same time. This reminded him of Tech and Wilbur in their younger years, always talking about some losing argument or how they were so close, with the laughter coming back to mind. Whew, that was good. Well, I've got to get back to the archives right about now. Take care, you two. I'll be back at noon. And with that, the purple-haired sister left with quick notice, leaving him and Essie to clean up and hang out even more. So, he started, what do we do now? He figured that they would just talk more, but instead Essie was giving him a tour around the land. We call this place the Aether, since the foundation still lies here, where you will be staying. Don't worry, it's super close, she rushed, saying. Whoa, you mean the Aether, as in land in the sky? That Aether? He said, astonished with what he was hearing. Wait, you know the place? Well, no, but I've only ever heard from Phil stories about the land in the sky, fabled to be home to be more creatures beyond our realm. That was true to his end, or on his end, for he can recall the days of which his supposed father figure would randomly tell stories about the Aether, saying that he would visit now and again. Of course, Tommy didn't believe that this place was true, but for Phil it became too busy with him and his brothers to travel any longer, but he had always wondered what the place might have looked like. Well, my good sir, this place is as real as it gets. It's not a place of rest, like the further beyond, but not like death. It's more of a rebirth, another place to relive life. Certainly is mine, anyway. He was about to question them what they meant by that, but before he could say anything, they had soon arrived to their destination. It was a mausoleum of sorts, some cracks rising through the white entrance decorated with Roman-style pillars. It was covered artfully in vegetation, flowers at their full bloom. The two of them continued inside, being a bit alarmed how big this temple is. As he was leading them to his room, when suddenly another person appeared. Oh god, darling, that needs a good fix, don't it? The stranger said while pointing at his shirt's hem. Also, hi, S. Hey, Terrius. What are you up to? The stranger named Terrius sighed quickly before responding. I was going to do some bouquet organizing, but I just saw the disaster the situation this man is, so of course I'm here. This was referred to the blonde, as he was a bit confused and insulted, but he had to agree with the most part. His shirt was torn, pants dirty, and boots on the dire need of a replacement. Truth be told, he needed new clothes. In the shower. Maybe. Definitely needs it, though. The sudden outburst of silent snickers arose from Essie, as if not to offend him anymore. He quickly spoke back to Terrius. What, I look too shabby, don't I? I think that would mean more words than just shabby, Terrius said with a hand moving around in circles in front of Tommy, to describe what the heck is happening with this. Just caused an intermingled laughter to be instantaneously abrupt. They laughed and laughed until their stomachs hurt just a bit before the fun ensued and died down. Tommy was choking up, but still surprised by his honesty. Dang, I never thought you'd be so crude, he said. Only the best for someone who really needs it, the turquoise-haired one inquired. But besides that, he continued, I can give you some clothes, and maybe even make some for you if you're staying here for a while. As he started with a wait, how did you know? Only to be answered by Terrius by saying, I just do. And with that, he was dragged by Terrius into a biome in the surrounding area filled with the luminescent glow of mushrooms as they entered to the shadows of the land. The further they walked, the darker it kept getting. A small twinge of fear entered his body, the shade reminding him of the many events he had to live through. It was an unpleasant thought, but he couldn't help it, for his therapy visits with Puffy were limited in view. Once he gets back, he'll make sure to see her again. As they continued to walk, more and more light was starting to show from the various plant life, glowing so effortlessly that it made him ponder. Terius picked 2 mushrooms from a tree and gave him one, stating it was for the dark. After a long while, the boat soon reached Terius's home, which was big and elegant, and an unexplainable light coming from it. It took the form of a mushroom, which he found funny since everything was so heavily themed with mushrooms in mind. Come, Terius shushed inside, promptly asking him to leave his shoes by the door as he won't be needing them anymore. And with that out of the way, the two of them continued down a glass hallway, behind them paintings with such detail that he couldn't trust that they were painted. Besides his belief, they had entered into a room filled with the brim with colorful clothes organized by what seemed like texture, color, and even year. The older man tugged at him to look at the garments that he had quickly pulled, wanting his opinion. Tommy was quiet as he slowly picked piece by piece what he wanted. All that he pulled consisted of nice neutrals and a nice blue sweater, reminding him of a friend. He was shown a separate room, dressing room it read. The name seemed a bit deceiving as it was more of a bathroom or spa room than anything. Here you can properly clean yourself, as it seems you have not been clean in a good while. What? Hey! First I point. Anyway, now shushu. Take as long as you like. We aren't in too much of a rush, so relax. If you need something, you can just call me. Thanks. Terius left the room and Tommy was left to his devices, deciding to wash up in the bath with the most subtle and pleasant soaps there were. To be fair, it did relax him as he could hear the running of the water drip and the scents of the flowers sweetly overwhelming the room. Then there was a sensation in his chest. It was warm, and it made him think of the times that this same feeling had come up. The creation of the Manberg, him and Tubbo hanging out, and the times he got to relax during the war. And he liked it. He soon left the bath and dried himself up with the soft towels available, putting a towel around his head so that his hair would dry faster. He proceedingly put on the wear he chose, feeling instantaneously cozy. The shirt was comfortable, the pants were snug, but best of all was the sweater, as it was soft to the touch as well as breathable, so he wouldn't sweat as much. He soon left the room after his hair quickly dried, looking for the mushroom man that wasn't George. He did many turns around the home, eventually finding him in the living room with dim lighting. He was sitting down on the plush couch, looking very eased as Tommy could hear slight music playing from the background. Soon Terius noticed. "Oh my," he said with such sincerity that he felt like he could blush with embarrassment. Instead, he thanked him, saying that it was one of the most peaceful moments in his life. This caused a mixed reaction to Terius, almost empathetic, but understanding that it was at least a good experience for him. The blue-haired man also gave him a new set of shoes, as the ones that he had were not going to last long. They also have an unbreaking enchantment, so they will last you for a very long time. Sweet. He put on his new pair of shoes, and his transformation was complete. He felt very clean, smelled nice, and was very comfortable. He enjoyed this. Soon they left the very home that had changed his physical appearance and were on their way back where Tommy was supposed to stay for the night. As dark was approaching, slowly but surely. They soon saw Essie, who was pacing back and forth, seeming to be bored as they waited, though they soon saw the boys and waved to them. "Dang, you took a good while, haven't you?" they said with a fake annoyance. "Hey, it wouldn't be any better. I know you like to dress up when you come and visit," Terius quickly chimed. Essie flushed with red rather quickly as they turned around with speed. "Come, Tommy, I have to show you your room. Your room." Take a break. Tommy went to walk with them, quietly thanking Terius for the clothes. Then soon he disappeared. Essie and Tommy soon went inside the building once more. This time, without interruption, Tommy opened the door, only to reveal a beautiful display of architecture. Beams on the ceiling, pillars carved supporting the room, and many trinkets that he would mess around with as he pleased. They were all new, as if they were just for him, which he liked the thought. In the middle of the room, he saw a giant bed with a bed veil, which only excited him more. "This is amazing!" he shouted with excitement as he flopped onto the bed. Essie chuckled as he continued to rustle on the bed like a dog did when it's very comfy. Tommy quickly got up and surprised Essie by hugging them, holding them with such trust you wouldn't think it would be possible. They soon hugged back, strongly holding him. "Thank you," he said quietly, weeping slightly as he accepted that there were people who had genuinely cared for him that weren't just his friends. It was quite the step to be healing without even noticing, but he didn't mind. They both stood like that for a good minute, but eventually stepping back and saying their goodbyes to each other. To his surprise, but not really, Terius had left him spare clothes and some pajamas, which he had quickly put on as soon as Essie left. Then he quickly laid on his bed and blew out the candle he had with him, and waited for sleep to take over him. With only him in his thoughts, he thought about the day which had passed, on which he thought he would have ever happened if it weren't for the strange circumstances that beheld him. He felt calm, like a resting ocean or a tranquil river, one of which has never been disturbed in its existence. He knew he wanted to go back to the SMP, but he was slowly coming to terms with his place, and so far he liked it. So much so that he didn't want to leave. He felt safe here, as he was much better off living without the fear of constant death around the corner. Slowly but surely, he drifted off into the night of blissful sleep, in which he dreamed of his friends around him in the Aether, along with the 3 new friends he made along the way. But something stood out in the dream, as he saw an albino avian with a robe much like Phil's, only it was red and the heart necklace was upside down. They were with them, enjoying the atmosphere until they got closer to Tommy and hugged them. He felt warm. And that was my reading of the Aether U. So, yeah, we didn't end up writing anything, but we instead read an entire first chapter, and I'm gonna be working on the second chapter, so stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.